Hello family, friends and followers. All the best for Christmas and the New Year. I want to talk today about logical reasoning. Show you how it works. Logic is actually related to degrees of truth. In other words, is this true? How close to the truth is something that somebody says? Or are they completely got it wrong, completely making assumptions? So we need to look at that. Let me give you an example. You've got a family driving along in the Kruger National Park, and the dad says, "Oh, look at that big pile of dung there. That's an elephant. That's elephant dung, and the elephant. We must look out for the elephant. The elephant is close by." Now that sounds perfectly logical and correct, because the structure of his thinking is such. Premise one: elephants make big piles of dung. Premise number two: that's a big pile of dung. Premise number three: conclusion: that must have been caused by an elephant. Conclusion number two: therefore elephant is around here somewhere, we must look for him. Now that sounds perfectly logical, and it is probably, the logical sequence is correct, but is it necessarily true? Because he might have overlooked something. For instance, there are other animals that produce large piles of dung. For instance, a giraffe or rhinoceros. So just to say that is an elephant dung is an assumption. So therefore, although his logical steps are correct, he has made an assumption. So therefore, it's not logically perfect in that way, and it can be taken to task. So I want you to consider that. Consider that, and also note that it relates to degrees of truth. In other words, is it verifiable by the senses, and is it necessarily true? Are there other options? Are there other conclusions you could come to? So that is the basic process of logical reasoning. And if a person makes mistakes like assumptions, like this man made an assumption it was an elephant, it can lead to major problems, and it's then called irrational. So I thank you for listening to my short talk today, and if you want to know further more about logical reasoning and logic, have a look at my book called Critical Thinking, which is available on Amazon and Drafted Digital, as well as through my website. And this book explains in detail logical reasoning, and it's one of the factors in critical thinking. Thank you.